We are so excited that you're here with us today. We know that your time is very, very valuable, and we feel honored that you have chosen to spend this next hour with us. Just to tell you a little bit about us, my name is Tracy Brosman, and my co-founder is Gail Sophia Edgel, and she's joining us today also. We're with Holistic Marketing Mentors, and I want to keep our introduction very brief. You can find out more about us if you're not familiar with us on our website at holisticmarketingmentors.com, and there's an About Us page. But we're very passionate about helping wellness professionals gain the business skills necessary to thrive in their business. We know that many of you are great healers, but you might not know where to turn with many aspects of your business. And this is where we come in. We have developed proven systems that teach you the techniques to have the business of your dreams. We also know that many of you would like to know the basics of what needs to be done and leave the details to others. And this is where many of our done-for-you services are very helpful. Today we're going to be going over the 7 ways to attract more clients. And the first way is by engaging the client, making them feel listened to and hopeful because they know you care about helping them get to the root of the problem and not just so that you can help them cover up their symptoms. Showing appreciation is very, very important. It's something that we don't do enough of in our society today. So by going that extra mile and maybe making it a phone call, following up with them, giving them a thank you card, or sending them regular newsletters, you can even do client appreciation months. When you understand your own personality type and the personality type of your clients, your life will be so much easier. You will know who needs more information and who needs recognition for the things they do well. You will know who you can go into detail with and who just wants to know the results and not the how. You will also know how your personality type might clash with other personalities and how to lessen those harmful effects. Now, of course, advertising is important, a very important way to get new clients and patients. They have to know that you are there before they can come and see you. However, there are less traditional ways for you to get attention from the media. You can write an article for a local magazine or approach your newspaper to give weekly wellness tips in a regular column. You can also approach radio and TV stations with this same concept. I give wellness tips weekly to my local television stations, and people love them. You can also raise money for a favorite charity and do a press release announcing it to the public. Now let's face it, we are a social society, yet most of us hate socializing. And this is why networking can be so painful for most of us. However, it is a necessity to growing your business. And there are ways to make networking more enjoyable. One way is by changing your perception. Instead of going to a networking event thinking that you're going to sell yourself, go instead knowing that you want to just help people. Know that you're going to find one person that you can truly help make a difference in their lives. And do you ever get tired of answering the same questions over and over? Well, this is where group programming comes into play. You can answer all of the same type of questions in one setting. You can even have other experts come and share their knowledge with your group. It can be a one-time thing or a program that is carried over several weeks with contests and other fun things for participants. Now, the final way to huge success in your wellness business is by focusing on a smaller target market. This is also called niching and is so important that we wanted to go into this in greater detail for you today. When Gail and I are talking to individual clients or even speaking at conferences throughout the country, we are always asking wellness practitioners what they are focused on. And what we find out is that they think they have a focus, but really they're just doing the same thing that everybody else is, and it's so broad that it is nearly impossible for them to build anything but an ordinary business. They struggle unnecessarily to get a foothold that will help them take them to the next level. And we know that if we help you determine your niche, that this will help your business much more than anything else we can help you with. So, if you would like more information on the first 6 ways to attract more clients, you can find greater detail in our book, Mastering Your Wellness Business, at holisticmarketingmentors.com. But today, we are going to help you get focused on the client that you love the most.
And Tracy, you make some great points about niching, because we certainly do run into that over and over again. So what will we be learning this evening? What is niching? Why niching is so imperative to every single business out there. It doesn't matter if it's a carpet cleaning business, a grocery store, a doctor's office, everybody needs to niche. The common objections to niching, how to determine your niche, really finding out if your niche is marketable, why keywords are different from main marketing campaigns. And what I mean by this is there are some keywords that you should be putting on your online marketing campaigns versus your local marketing campaigns. Finding the low-hanging fruit keywords that you can be using all the time in your blog posts on your website. And what I mean by low-hanging fruit keywords are the 5 low competition is one thing, but also about 25 to 50,000 searches per month, and we're going to be looking at that in a little bit here. How to determine what is already being offered and how you can make it better. So we'll be going over this very shortly here.
So what is niching? Well, niching is just about being a little bit more specialized, being more focused, which allows you to be marketable. An example would be if you were somebody who is in the skincare business, and you came to us and you said, we asked you what your niche was, and you said, well, my customer is anybody with skin. Well, think about that. There are billions of people on this planet, and your market is all of them. How are you going to get a foothold in there? How are you going to market to all of them effectively? You can't. And the purpose of niching is to narrow that down so that you can be marketable, so that you don't have to market to millions of people. The Best Buys of this world, the Walmarts of this world, they have the money to be more general, to be able to market to the masses. You're a small business. You can't compete with them. Instead, you have to narrow it down. So if this person came to us and they do skincare products, and they said to us that they focus with people who have eczema and are over the age of 45. Well, that's going to narrow it down considerably. Now they know exactly who they're going to market to, who they're going to send emails or make phone calls, or where they're going to network or even do Facebook ads and Google ads, because now they are focused. So why niche? Giving you some examples of this, but you may have heard that niches make you rich. And as I've already said, it narrows your marketing reach, focusing your marketing dollars. But most importantly, it helps you stay focused. And focus is very important, because if you're that skincare specialist and you're focused on everyone, well, when you write an article or do a video for your YouTube, what's going to happen is you're going to be writing on skincare for acne for teenagers one day, and then the next week you may be focusing on eczema, and the next week you may be focusing on skin damage from the sun. And see, people don't really know exactly where you're an expert at. But when you stay focused and all of your articles and your YouTube videos are around eczema, And this is just an example, but it helps you become an authority. It helps people to see you as an expert in that subject, which implies knowledge and trust. And the more people trust you, the more they're going to want to come and see you because they know that you'll help them. They know that you're not just out there to take their money or to try something that may or may not work, that you really care and that you know your stuff.
And Tracy, one thing you bring up is about expert and authority, and you can only declare yourself an expert. No one else is going to declare yourself an expert, so until you do, no one else will. So just remember that. So getting into the common objections. The first one, I don't want to back myself into a corner and only take those clients. So let's go back to Tracy's example. If we look at having skin as a specialty or a focus of our business, and we decide to really focus and market our efforts into those who have eczema. Say someone comes through the door and you're a naturopath, and say someone comes through the door and their child has ADHD, and the parent says, can you help them? The thing I would say to you is, do you really, truly have a passion for helping that type of client or patient? If you don't take them on. If you do have a passion to help them, please do help them. But your energy will be emitted onto those individuals if you do not work with those, if you don't want to work with those clients. And I'll give you an example. When I had my personal training business, so many people asked me to work with teenage athletes. I hated working with teenage athletes. I took one of those teenage athletes on, and I hated it from day one. I think I only did it for about 90 days and finally told the parent, look, this isn't for me. So don't take it just out of scarcity because you need the money. The second one, if I narrow my niche too much, I won't have clients. Well, that is sort of true. So that's why we are going to be looking at some ways to make sure that you are not narrowing your niche too much. Remember, when you're selecting your niche, you could always go up the ladder again. So if we find out that there aren't enough patients or clients in that area, we can always go back up and broaden your niche again. So don't think once you pick a niche, that's the only niche you're going to have for the rest of your life. We can change it. How do I know if my niche is too narrow of a focus? And this is sort of this alludes to the second one, is that we are really going to be looking at the Google AdWords and just seeing if there are searches. And if there are only 100 or 200 searches a month for your particular focus, then there may be a problem. So we really need to focus on those AdWords and play with them, putting in different terms, which I'm going to show you an example of today, to see if that focus is too narrow. In my profession, you can't say that you specialize in a particular field unless you have a medical degree in that area. This has happened a lot of times, especially in the naturopathic profession. And what we say to you is that doesn't mean you can't niche. So many of physicians have walked up to us, or doctors have walked up to us and said this exact thing: I can't specialize, so I'm just going to remain a generalist. And what we say to you is use different words. Maybe you're using the word focus. I focus on children that have skin problems. I focus on older adults over the age of 55 that have skin problems. So find out the terms that you can use and use those in your particular field. You just want to make sure that you have clearance from your board certification.
Well, and great points there, Gail. And the other thing that you can say, if you can't use even the word focus, is just tell people what type of clients you love to work with the most. Because this is how you're going to, and this leads into determining your niche. Because when you're determining your niche, you want to do something that you're passionate about. If you don't care about people's skin, why would you focus on eczema? You want to make sure that it's something that you enjoy, that you like doing the research on, that you would like writing articles or speaking to people about, that you wouldn't mind waking up one day and finding out that your practice or your wellness business is full with this type of client. Another way to determine your niche is what type of clients keep calling you to help them. Chances are, if you're getting calls or you're having people come into your office to see you for certain types of problems, you've probably been successful at treating someone or many people in the past, and they're referring others to you. And this will help you determine your niche, because this will help you. You've already got a foothold in that door. So if you like it, this may be where you want to go. Another way to determine your niche is if there's something that's happened to you in your own life and that you have overcome a certain illness and you want to tell others about your story. People learn from other people's stories, and that is another way that you develop trust, and they know that you've been there. You know their pain. You know what they've gone through. So this is a great way to find your niche.
Definitely.
Yes. And then, is there a combination of your own likes that makes a unique niche? So there may be something that you really like and a combination of them that make a wonderful niche. For instance, if you're a chiropractor and you love to golf and you live in an area that there's a lot of golfers, you may combine that and you may determine and find yourself to be the golfing chiropractor. You can hold group programs that help people improve their golf game. And of course, that's going to include keeping their back nice and healthy and straight. So this is just one way to find, or just some ways to find your niche. So is your niche marketable? That is the next thing that you want to determine. And the way to determine that is, one way is through surveys. Now you can do a survey of your clients that is not formal. For instance, if you're having a lot of clients and they have the same health problem, then that is an informal survey. You don't necessarily have to ask them a lot of questions because you already know the answers, but you're being aware and you're keeping track of it. Another way would be to do a more formal survey, and you can use SurveyMonkey for this. And SurveyMonkey is a free program that will allow you to send surveys by email or Facebook or Twitter, and people can fill out a 10-question survey. They do limit you to 10 questions on the free survey, but you can have it where they fill in the answers or it's multiple choice. You can make the answers have to be answered or give them the option. You can do true and false. You can do many different things with that. Another great way to find out if your niche is marketable is to just Google different forums and support groups and see what is out there for that niche. Get in there, talk to people, maybe ask them some questions, maybe send out your survey, but find out if other people are having these problems and if they're talking about it. The great thing about online these days is that we can find so much information for free that will help us in our marketing efforts. So if you go on and you don't find any forums or any support groups, this doesn't mean that it's not a good niche. You just may need to look a little bit more deeper. And you may also try to look on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a lot of forums and support groups, and many, many people are using that these days. But another way to find out if your niche is marketable is Google Adwords. And Gail's going to go into much more detail on how to actually find out through Google Adwords if your niche will be marketable.
And two things I wanted to say, Tracy, on your prior slides was one about support groups is check locally. Typically, there are a lot of hospitals. There may be other doctors' offices. There may be local programs or support groups for individuals that you would like to target. So if you can get involved with those individuals and actually ask them questions, they are the best types of people. And I used to do focus groups with my menopause when I have my menopause website. And I would have 15 or 20 women in a room and offer tea and cookies to them, and they would just spill their guts as to what questions they really had about menopause. The other thing I wanted to say is, getting back to that focus, was someone had suggested, I think about 2 weeks ago, and I thought this was a great idea. If they cannot say the word specialty and they're just afraid of getting into trouble, another way is to have testimonials and have the client say what you help them with. So for example, if it was eczema or ADHD or autism or whatever it may be, to say, gosh, Dr. So-and-so was so great with my son who had autism. He couldn't do X, Y, Z, but now he's able to do A, B, C. So getting the client or the patient or the parent to actually state what you help them with, that you're not even saying it in your own marketing, they are saying it for you.
Excellent points, Gail. Thank you for adding those.
So we're getting into online marketing keywords. What is the difference between online and offline? And online marketing is really what you're putting in your blog posts, what you're putting in your website, everything that you're getting out there in the world. And offline, I call it offline, but it's really local marketing. The reason why they're a little bit different is you want to go for the lower hanging fruit keywords in your online marketing. And what I mean by that, I had mentioned it before, but it's lower competition. We're going to show you this in a second. About 25 to 50,000 searches per month, and we're just going to be looking at the United States and Canada. When you're looking for offline, you may be using those lower hanging fruit keywords, but you may be also using the higher number keywords. And what I mean by that is it may be high competition, and they may have millions of searches. So for example, I always go back to the word menopause because that was a specialty of mine prior to moving into Holistic Marketing Mentors. But online, I use menopause support and menopause relief, because they were lower hanging fruit keywords. But offline, when I did any kind of advertising, perhaps in the community, I always used the word menopause. The reason why I didn't use it online is because there were literally millions of searches for the word menopause. And on the first 5 or so pages, you were getting mostly hospitals, the National Institute of Health, Mayo Clinic, so there was no way that I would ever show up on the first 5 pages, even 10 pages. Whereas with the lower hanging fruit keywords, I was showing up in page 1 of Google easily, if not in the first spot for the 5 or so keywords that I chose to focus upon. So again, when you're looking for online, it's low competition. We're going to show you this in a second, 25 to 50,000 searches. I highly suggest that if you make a whole Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to provide you one, if you don't like the one we provide you, you can make up your own. If you don't know how to operate Excel, you can certainly just put it out on a grid, make a grid on a piece of paper and write everything out. And we use at least 2 low-hanging fruit keywords in all communications. So what I mean by that is that you may have 5 or so. This is just an estimate, and you don't want to be using all 5 in every communication that you do because it's going to be overkill. So you might want to be focusing on, I said, menopause support and menopause relief. So you might want to say menopause support, hot flashes, here's the cure. That might be the title. And then you might want to rephrase it as a subtitle and say, I know you want relief from your night sweats, menopause relief from your night sweats. So you're rewording it just a little bit in that title and subtitle, and then exchange it all the way down in your blog post. The thing you don't want to do nowadays with blogging is just put random keywords and sentences that do not make sense. They have to make sense, so don't put keyword after keyword. The other thing you want to do is really find keywords that are pertinent to the article. So if you're writing about hot flashes, you're going to put in your 2 main keywords that we were just talking about. There's lower hanging fruit keywords, but you're also going to put in things night sweats, hot flashes, and if you have time, do some keyword searches on that. Just for the fact that it's very, very important that you're also using those keywords. So you could put in hot flashes in your Google Adwords search, which again we're going to do again in a little bit here, and see what comes up and use those keywords in your blog post or on your website. So that's what I'm speaking about with blog posts on particular subjects. You want to be using keywords that are pertinent to that blog. So you have your 2 low-hanging keywords, hanging fruit keywords, and then you're also going to have keywords that you're using for that particular article. Like I said, hot flashes, night sweats. You will be amazed. I know a lot of people don't like to misspell things, but you will be amazed at how many people misspell words. For example, menopause, M-E-N-A instead of M-E-N-O. several thousand people misspell menopause every single month. So you want to capitalize on sometimes misspellings. We talked about the offline marketing materials. And Google AdWords, the blogs, you want to low competition, particularly not, if you have to, you may have to go to medium competition just depending on what your niche is, and then higher, with higher searches, your 25 to 50,000 searches. Offline, you definitely want high competition and higher searches. So you remember the word menopause. That's where you would use that with higher searches, 25 to 50,000, even above that. You do not want to go down into people searches that are 170 or 50 searches a month, and we're going to show you that in just a second. So here is a great example of Google AdWords. If you notice, you have to have a Google Gmail account to actually access Google AdWords. So if you don't have a Gmail account, you must establish one before you go to adwords.google.com. Again, it's adwords.google.com. So once you get there, if you notice, you're going to have my pointer here. It says Tools and Analysis. You'll click on this, and then as you click on it, the scroll down menu, one of the things is Keyword Analysis. So you're going to click on Tools and Analysis, Keyword Analysis. And then the only other thing you want to make sure you do is right here it says Keyword Ideas. It automatically comes up to the Ad Group Ideas, and you do not want it on that. Make sure you're clicking on the Keyword Ideas. Then you're going to go up and type in your first keyword phrase. And what I want to tell you is I'm just doing an experiment here. I know we have a lot of nutritionists on the call, but the word nutrition, I just put in, I'm a nutritionist, because we hear this all the time. So I just typed in the word nutrition. So if you scroll all the way down here with my pointer, you'll see the word nutrition. It actually is low competition, so it met one of our requirements. But look at this. Global is world, but if you look over here to local monthly searches, that is actually 9.1 million searches, 9.1 million searches. So yes, it meets our low competition, but it doesn't really meet our local monthly searches. I would suggest that you do use it on and off in your online marketing just because it is low competition, but we're going to find out there are some easier terms that you might be able to use. Definitely use it, though, in your local marketing because 9 million people are searching it per month online, which is just amazing. Tracy, do you have anything to add there?
No, other than the fact that a lot of people get really confused with, well, why wouldn't I want to go after that 9 million? 9 million is better than 25,000, right? And so what I would say to that is remember that your purpose here is niching down. Do you really want to try to market to those 9 million people, or would you rather try to market to the 25? Yes. So market to the 25,000 or 50,000.
That's exactly right, Tracy, because nutrition, what are they looking for? Like they could be looking for nutrition for their child. They could be looking for nutrition and diabetes. So it's such a general term that if you really focus on that solely, again, you're not niching down at all. So here I started to narrow it down a little bit more, nutrition and weight loss. And what I will tell you with Google AdWords, this is not a 5-minute process. You're going to have to take a couple hours out of a week. You know, you could do it in 30-minute segments or sit down for 2 or 3 hours and really look at what's available. So if we look at nutrition and weight loss and we scroll down, nutrition and weight loss is actually high competition. So a lot of websites are using the words nutrition and weight loss. So it's high competition, but it is in a range of 27,100 searches. So again, it's meeting one of the criteria, the local monthly searches, and competition it is not meeting because it is in that high area. Again, though, for local marketing, nutrition and weight loss, you might want to use that as a term in your local marketing. And it's not to say that you can't use it online. It's just saying that you probably don't want to be using it as one of your main keywords. So then, if you scroll down a little bit further, this is the same exact screen as the prior slide. If you notice, nutrition and weight loss is still up at the top here. Here's your high competition, 27,100. But what Google does, the Google AdWords does is right through here, you will see all the other terms that they are suggesting to you. So you may see over here something that floats your boat and say, oh my God, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do running for weight loss. So if you look at that, it's low competition and it's 33,100 searches. So that might be a keyword that you say, yes, you know what, I am passionate about running and I'm passionate about helping people lose weight, and I can combine the two, and they fit in that criteria. And like I said to you before, 25 to 50,000 is average. It just depends on your niche. You may have to go up or down from there. By the way, this will come up with high. It may come up random because it's categorized differently. Just click on this, and it will categorize it low to high or high to low for you. So again, if we look at this page, they're all low competition. Here's the runner's diet. I don't know. What I would do is actually on that Excel spreadsheet, okay, I looked at it wrong. Calories to lose weight is 165,000. I would make a note of this. It's low competition. 165,000 people search for it, but you may want to write an article or two about calories to lose weight because there's a lot of people searching for it, but no one's really using it as a keyword term in their websites. So that might be something that you don't want to use all the time, but you could certainly write an article or two about it. So these are the things you want to start to look for is what kinds of words could I possibly use all the time? And like I said, here's running for weight loss. That's a good term to actually use all the time. And then what are some words that I could be using on perhaps a blog post about or use in my local marketing? So that calories to lose weight, here's one all the way up here. Oh, boy. The HCG diet. You definitely write something about HCG. Here's HCG for weight loss. I mean, whether you're for or against it, here is an article that you might want to write about, and there's a couple different ways that you could title it. So you could say your title of this particular blog post could be the HCG diet plan, and then your subtitle could be why the HCG diet could be dangerous or could be beneficial or whatever your viewpoint is. So you can just start making some notes of possible blog posts, again, possible words to use in local marketing, and then your 5 or so keywords you want to use all the time. So if we go to the next page, this is just the bottom half of that page, and you keep seeing runners. I don't know if anyone has a specialty for running, but let me tell you, they're not being capitalized on. There's a lot of people searching for it. And if you just keep scrolling down, here's another great blog post, how to lose 10 pounds. I don't know why people are choosing just to lose 10 pounds, but must be getting ready for a wedding or something. Motivation to lose weight, 18,000. Again, a great blog post. Here's another one, yoga for weight loss. Isn't that interesting? You always see some interesting words. You're like, wow, really? So yoga for weight loss could be a regular keyword that you're using all the time if you have an interest in yoga, or it could be a potential article that you're writing. Here's an interesting one, extreme weight loss. That's another one that you could be using on a regular basis. And eating to lose weight, another one that you could possibly be using in those articles that you're writing or on maybe a page of your website or, again, local. But, again, it's 135,000 searches. So like Tracy was saying, maybe write a blog post about it, but for a regular keyword that you're using all the time, you probably want to narrow it down a little bit further. So, Tracy, do you have anything else to say?
No, Gail, you always do such a great job. And like you had mentioned earlier, we love doing keyword researches. This is so much fun, and you can find out so much about your niche and save you so much time and money by just taking the time to do this.
Yes. Well, and the other thing is I just want to emphasize is if we go back a few slides and I put in that word nutrition, don't forget, like if these words do not, you look at them and you're like, Gail, there's nothing here for me, put in another word. It might be obesity and nutrition. It might be nutrition and eczema or nutrition and skin problems or whatever it is, and just see what is appearing below that keyword term. Again, you want to aim for low competition, 25 to 50,000 searches for those 5 low-hanging fruit keywords. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that, tongue twister. And then if there are higher searches, like this word nutrition, we're going back to that one, that's the one that you may want to use in your local marketing. And then things like the 165,000, you may want to use it in a blog post or two. So that'll give you some ideas of blogs to write about because people are searching for it, which is really cool.
So what is already offered? Well, that is something that you're going to want to find out. And we don't like to use the word competition, but we did use it here. But we want you to really be thinking more about your peers, because Gail and I don't really believe in competition. We believe more in cooperation. We get so much more done by cooperating with others and playing friendly in the sandbox. So you may have, if let's say you are that chiropractor and you have 10 other chiropractors within a mile radius, you may find that you focus and your ideal client is completely different than the other 9 chiropractors in your area, and that they may have focuses that you don't like to deal with those type of clients. So you may build a referral basis with them, or you may also find that some of what they do complements what you do, and so you can help with group programs. The other thing that you want to do is, like Gail said, do your Google searches, but use keywords. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a Excel spreadsheet, and that is how you'll find out what is already offered, whether it's products or whether it's actual practitioners practicing exactly what you have done. And we have some of these spreadsheets for you to be able to use and just adjust them to make it work for you. This is just examples of what we use to know what is already out there. Because when you know what other people are doing, it helps you in multiple ways. One thing, you don't want to be offering the exact same thing that the guy down the street is offering. You want to be different. You want to be unique. You don't want to be competing one-on-one with him. So if you're offering something different, or if you can figure out a way to do it better, these searches will help you. And so really get to know what others are doing, what products and services they are offering, and take notes. In the spreadsheet, you're going to find, different things on how do they make money, what pricing points do they have, and most importantly, what are they offering for their services and programs. You're also going to find different items like what are they telling their customers, what pain points are they helping with, and all of this will help you decide what type of program or what services you're offering, how that can help you once you have determined your niche. This is how you make it all applicable. You're also going to find as you're doing those searches, and I already mentioned it, these two, but you're partnering. It's really important to partner when you can. For instance, one of the things my nonprofit wanted to do, World Wellness Education, is we wanted to make an online resource where people could come and find all of the different practitioners. And what we found out is that we could spend thousands of dollars creating this, and time that our volunteers, we would have just made them crazy. Or we could find one of the tens of thousands of different websites out there that are doing this well already, that they already have a system in place that people can go to and can list their symptom or list their city and state and find alternative medical practitioners right there. So it makes more sense not to recreate the wheel, but to partner with people. Now, if we had done our research and found that what was out there was really poor, and we knew that we could make it better, then that would have been another story. We would have gone that route. However, we decided it was better to partner.
Great.
Did you have anything to add on that, Gail, before we move on?
The only thing I was going to say, Tracy, is that for the Google AdWords, and I just want to make it clear to them that if they find a word that really resonates with them, they're going to put it in their Excel spreadsheet. But then they're also going to go to Google and they can just type in running for weight loss. I think that was one of the keywords that we were looking at. You can put in running for weight loss right into Google, and you're going to start recording everything that is on page 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to say, okay, you know, in first place is, you know, National Institute for Health, and this is what they're writing about, or this is what they're selling, or whatever it may be. Second one is a doctor from Florida, and he has these products. Third is this. So you're just going to go down. Once you put in that keyword at the very top, then you're going to see who, like Tracy said, competition or peers. Look at them as peers. What are they exactly offering? How can you make it better, or can you partner with them? So you really want to make some detailed notes. There's so many people that you can partner with, and people are always looking to expand their own businesses. So like Tracy and I always say, find ways to play nice in the sandbox.
Great points. Thank you, Gail. And what we want to have you do is set some time each week aside to work on the niching, but also if you can't work on it yourself, find ways to outsource some of the steps. For instance, many of us work in our business. We get so caught up with the day-to-day stuff that we forget to work on our business. And it's when we work on our business that we see the most change, that we see the most improvement. So make sure that you're planning time to work on your business each and every week. Like Gail mentioned, this is not a 10-minute project. You're going to need to spend some time on the keywords. So make sure you're doing that. It's really, really important to focus and narrow down exactly what your ideal client is. So make sure you're taking it seriously. Take your accurate notes. And then if for some reason you just don't have the time to do it yourself, or you don't have the desire to do it, you keep procrastinating and putting it off, then you can always outsource it. There are many, many ways that you can outsource. I think we have an article on our website. If you go to holisticmarketingmentors.com on our blog, there is an article that Gail, I believe you did, on how to outsource 10 things for under $50. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 10 things, and you can use Elance, or even cheaper is Fiverr, Fiverr.com. I mean, there's so many sources out there that you can use, and it may not be the keyword searches, or you may want to use them for keyword searches, have them bring it back to you, and then you might want to narrow it down a little bit further, but have them do the preliminary stuff.
Elance and Fiverr is great when you can tell them exactly how you want the project to be done. So it's important for you to know how to do it yourself so that you can make sure that they're doing it the way that you need it done, and it can be very inexpensive. Mm-hmm. This is the same way if you decided to hire a high schooler or maybe somebody who's retired to come in and help you out. Give them specific instructions. Now, if you would like to just make it a little bit easier and don't mind paying a little bit more, you can always use some of our done-for-you services also that we offer. We can do your keyword research, we can do your competition research, but it's not going to be as inexpensive as if you went and you hired it out from Fiverr or from some of these other sources. However, you're not going to need to necessarily explain what you want done because we're going to know how to do it already. So that is some options for you. But take the time over this next week. We're giving you the information. We don't want this to be like every other webinar you've taken or other programs that you say, oh, that's really great, I need to do it, and then you don't take action steps. If you take the action steps necessary, you will be building the business of your dreams. That is what we want. We want to help give you the business skill sets that are easy to implement, that you can put into action to actually have the business that you want and that you dream of, so that you can quit working 5, 6, 7 days a week, 12 to 16-hour days. And you can have time for the fun things and have the lifestyle that you want to have. So that leads us into what we're going to be talking about next week in our 3-week mini mastery series, and it's going to be how to effectively use your time to make more money. And this is one of my passions. I love time management. I love to be able to do this. And so we're going to take next week and we're going to teach you lots of great tips, give you lots of great resources on how to do that, and also how to do goal setting, where you can take a big project and make it much easier and simpler by breaking it down into smaller steps. The 3rd week of our mini mastery series you're not going to want to miss, because that is going to be on social media. We're going to help you get through the maze of the social media mania to find out what do you need to be focusing on, what really will bring you the most bang for your time and for your money. So that is something that'll be really important, and we look forward to having all of you on that webinar as well. So we hope that you have a phenomenal week, and go to our website to find more great tips and articles. We mentioned it before, but it's holisticmarketingmentors.com. And Gail, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we covered it, and they have some homework to do over the next 7 days.
Yes, as Gail and I call it, home fun. So be watching
Yes.
your email because we're going to send you the links and the different spreadsheets that will help you out. We're going to send them to you in PDFs in case you don't have Excel, but we're also going to send them in Excel templates to make it easier if you do have that program or a similar program that you can convert to. So, to your success, and we will talk to you next week.